Boxing King Media in association with Boxro here in Jeddah, just before the weigh-in. Johnny Nelson, you've been the hottest topic. In fact, you've probably been hotter than the actual event this week. Would you say so?
I don't know what that is about. Maybe it's a sensitive week. So when things are said, people take it more to heart than they should do. Or maybe people just misquote you. And so I don't mind the roasting, but I think they were missing the more important facts at hand. And the issue is AJ coming back to the UK with the belts. That's the story. That's what we would need to focus on. And it was probably just a conversation on the mindset of something of what I could draw onto. And I understand kind of that the general public won't get it, because you don't get it. So but I'm sure AJ did.
Is it worth highlighting that point you made there about obviously the media? Unfortunately, we have to clickbait. We have to kind of pick out certain words you say. So, as being on the other side of the camera, does that piss you off, or do you think that's just the game?
It's the game. That's how it is. And listen, if you're going to get involved in this, you've got to live by the sword and die by the sword. And sometimes you've got to say stuff, and you can't back it up. You get destroyed. So, but if you believe in what you're saying, it doesn't matter what anybody else says. It's how it is. But it depends on how mentally strong you are. A lot of people are weak-minded, where they'll go with the crowd and say what everybody else is saying, or don't say what they actually think is their truth. So as long as you say it and you can actually justify what you're saying, that's important to me. I can sleep at night. But if I was weak-minded and just said stuff that I wasn't with, it don't work for me.
Talking about being weak-minded, when I spoke to Dominic Ingle recently, we was talking about this particular fight and how the fact that AJ's got a team of people helping him think positively. And Dom drew a comparison to yourself, and he said, you was quite weak-minded, and it took an effort to try and get you ready for a fight. So can you draw comparisons to that, and also your response to Dom's comments?
Funny thing is, I saw Barry Hearn this morning, and we were talking fight. He said, "Johnny, remember?" He said, "You used to be the same. Remember, my first title shot was Barry Hearn was my promoter, and I was the same. I wouldn't let the shots go. I was like second guessing everything. I was the confidence wasn't there. I had the body of a man, but the mindset of a boy, and it takes time. It takes people." It takes the right people to get into you, make you understand something that you'd understand in a heartbeat. But once you've got it, no one's ever going to break it. So that's why I can relate to where AJ is coming from in regards to him overanalyzing something or him second guessing something. The ability's there, but the confidence in there to match the ability. And that sounds mad to say what he's achieved. He's such a talented individual, but sometimes he'll overcook it and overthink and think, well, can I actually do that? Can you imagine if his confidence, the confidence that he's got that we see, matched the real ability that he's got? This guy would be ridiculously unbeatable. But that's just how it is. And again, people will probably struggle to understand that concept because they look at what AJ's done. People will struggle to understand that concept because they look at the persona he creates. Then you look at the last fight with Usyk. People say, throw the shot. Answer me the question, why didn't you throw the shot? Because he overcooked it, overthought it, and that's what it is. So in certain aspects, some people are very mature in certain situations, some people aren't. And it's about confidence. It's about once you believe in yourself, and I mean truly believe in yourself, not to hustle you to make you think I'm a bad man. Once you truly believe in what you're capable of doing, that's when the world's your oyster.
And just regards to Dom's comments, how do you feel about that? Obviously, Dom's a straight talker, as you know personally yourself. How do you feel about what he's saying about you as weak-minded and useless in that sense?
I totally agree. I tell that story myself, and I'm actually glad I wore that badge, because you don't get wisdom unless you go through experiences, good and bad. You understand? So I totally agree. I tell that same story. I tell kids, look, I had 13 amateur fights. I won 3. I was petrified. I tell that story because I want them to see the growth, the transition. And all of a sudden to finish off where you were and end up defending the world title 13 times, second on the record of defences, that shows growth. And so I don't mind people knowing that, because if you know that, then you think, well, if he can do it, I can do it. So when I say certain things, I don't expect everybody to understand. I don't expect everybody to get it, because they've not walked in my shoes. They've not gone down the mental path I have. And so, but then I can attribute it to other fighters and other situations because I see the signs. I see the things that should be done, shouldn't be done. So Dominic knew me inside out. When I first walked into the gym, Dominic said to his dad, "Why are you training him? He's got no bottle. Why are you training him? He's useless." Brandon said, "Be patient. Let him grow." And that's all I had to do. I had to grow. I had to grow into it. I had to believe in myself. It didn't matter if I could hustle you into believing me. I had to believe myself. But once he was there, I believe I could conquer the world.
That's pretty remarkable to have them words said about you, for you to then go on to do what you achieved. I think it's quite important highlighting that as well.
Yeah, it is, but it's a transferable skill. It doesn't have to just be in sport. It could be in your workplace. It could be in your social environment. It could be with your parents. It could be with your friends. So this is a lifestyle, of mentality, a lifestyle of mental discipline, a lifestyle of mental self-belief. You could attribute it to a relationship. You could attribute it to any sport, any skill, and so that's going a little too deep for this kind of conversation. But what I'm saying to you is, I get it. I don't expect everybody else to get it, but I get it.
Yeah, I wanted to speak about something a bit different because you've kind of spoken about the fight at length, and also with regards to, I saw your video with Derek Chisora the other day on the IFL channel. He's told you to fuck off, etc. How do you take that? Because obviously it's all on the back end of what you said, and obviously fans are like, I'm sure I don't know if you've seen the comments or not.
So it came across a bit disrespectful. I love Derek. He's got a good heart. He's a nice guy. He's a very passionate sort of animal. And Derek, when Derek and I are speaking, we were talking about his career. We're talking about what he's done. So Derek, he's passionate. So I'm like, yo, listen, it's coming from a place of love. This ain't a place to dig at. This ain't a place to hurt. What I'm saying is coming from a place of love. And I understand what Derek's saying. I understand, no, I'm not having that. Because I used to have that. Once I got to that mentality, I was willing to die in the ring. I didn't care. Once the mentality and the self-belief kicked in, it's not until you're done and you look down the line, you think, well, maybe. So I just gave him my opinion. I was asked my opinion. I won't say something about a fighter to you now and then can't say it to his face, because that's cowardly. So with Derek, I get where he's coming from. And again, it's a place of, you didn't see before, you didn't see after. Me and Derek are cool, man. We sat down, we bust a cigar. Afterwards, we sat down and laughed and joked. Derek's a good guy. His heart's in the right place. He's a fighter. He's a fighter that's in it. Have this conversation with him 10 years' time. Let's see where he stands.
Do you think it's another instance where the media are to blame, particularly Umar, who's stood over there?
Yeah, but they've got to do the job. These guys are going to ask the question, and if he asks the right question and it creates that right kind of debate, that's how it is. There's nothing I say, as I said, that I feel uncomfortable about. I just laugh at batting off the responses, but that's just how it is.
Good stuff. And last question, we're going to have finally Eddie Hearn and Adam Smith in the same room after a long time. Shame Ben Shalom's not here, but it'd be interesting, that.
They should do a gloves are off. Would have all sat around there.
You being the representative.
Eddie Hearn, Frank Warren, Ben Shalom. Get them all sat there. Get Adam there. Just throw him in the mix. Well, that's how this is business. This morning we bumped into each other in the lobby, and it's just business, man. I went there and I said, yo, we're going to kiss and make up. And we just laughed about it. So that's just how it is, man.
If they all did get together, who would win that war of words?
Eddie. Eddie's the Don. You can't run with Eddie. He's the Eddie. Look, this is why Eddie's created the empire he has. But there's a price. So therefore, and that's why you'd say, look, this guy, he's the best promoter in the world. That's just how it is. Eddie'd win easy.
Johnny, thank you for your time, man, and enjoy the weigh-in. Let's see how it goes down.
Sweet, see you on the other side.